Conservation Commission meeting, 2019. We have today with us Roger St. Laurent, Andrew Thompson, Michael Croto, Harry Manzikian, Tom Levesque, and myself, Joan McKibben. First on the agenda, well, first of all, is there any input related to non-agenda items that anybody would like to add? Seeing none. And Andrew, you're an alternate. That's correct. So we'll appoint Andrew as a voting member because Matt's not here, so you can take his place. And then would someone like to take the minutes, brief minutes, if there's any motions or just who comes in? I can't do both at the same time. So I would really appreciate if somebody could do that. You volunteering?
Yeah, you just did.
You can write.
What?
I just volunteered Andrew.
What's that?
That was cruel.
Really?
I got nothing.
There you go.
So give me the
Grand.
You're good to go.
Solve that problem quick.
As long as you don't have to do it, they'll let you have it.
Okay, first on the agenda is William Parker. He did an Eagle Scout project for us at Moores Falls. Come on up. And I did have I took some pictures yesterday of the signs down there. We're going to try and get some pictures into the town report this year. And just tell me how many signs did you put up?
We installed 5 plaques.
5 plaques.
In addition with 6 additional things in the ground around the cellar hole along the trail. And we had the ropes connecting them to form a guardrail so that people, in hopes that people would not go into the cellar hole.
So there was guardrail around the cellar hole, the ferry person's cellar hole, and then 5.
Yes, we put that in.
5 illustrative plaques.
Yes.
Great. Okay, that's good because I did a town report and I didn't write how many plaques there were, so I'll add that. And like I said, we're going to try and put a sign in the town report. So the project is done.
Yes.
Wonderful. Give us a little bit of an overview for the people that are new.
I have a few pictures, although you just said that you already have pictures.
Well, I took some with my cell phone.
If you'd like to see the beforehand too.
Mm-hmm.
So this project has been a great experience for me. I thank you for allowing me to take it on.
Mm-hmm. How did you raise the funds for it?
Thank you. Well, I asked my mother and a company that my family is friends with for donations, and they each one gave me $150. And in thanks, when I wrote my article in the HLN, I would thank them and put in a business card ad next to their
businesses. Mm-hmm. Great. Well, I really appreciate the project. It really came out very nicely. I like the one up at the kiosk. There's one starting there, and then as you walk down, for those of you who haven't been there, as you walk down, there are 4 or 5 other plaques, and he did a very in-depth research of the canal system, Middlesex Canal system, and goes on to really explain some of the history there. So that's really good. And then we have the foundation cellar hole of the, I don't know what you call him, the
Gatekeeper or
the canal keeper,
Canal
right?
keeper,
Collected the funds for people to go through the canal, and that has been cordoned off, and so there's a lot of history down there. Very good.
So you were able to achieve your Eagle Scout, and you've
Yes.
had everything's processed through now, and you are officially an Eagle Scout.
You didn't go to
No,
your ceremony yet, though?
I have this, and this has to be signed off and completed.
Mhm.
And then I have to do one more merit badge.
Okay.
And then once I do all that, I go to the Eagle board,
Okay.
and they say, yeah, you've done everything, and you're qualified to be Eagle Scout. Then I become one.
Wonderful.
Let us know when you get through all that, let us know when the ceremony will be, and hopefully some of us can get to that.
Okay.
And you are presenting, what is the check from, excess funds?
Yes, this is the remainder I got from all the donations.
Mhm.
Is for $106.75 to the Litchfield Conservation Commission.
Okay, all righty, we'll turn that into the town. And then do you have some paperwork for us to sign?
Yes, to sign, and these pages are just what I needed to do for the Eagle board, so I thought I'd bring them in for you too, just in case you wanted to look at them.
Mhm.
You can keep them or
Good, oh, good, that's good.
if you want.
Mhm.
And then
Because we keep a file on all the Eagle Scout projects that, that people do.
yeah,
Great,
those
thanks.
are the things. I might change some things when I go to that report because
It's
just for
good,
wording,
Yeah.
just to make sure my mom approves of everything I say. And I have these two.
but this is excellent, that the way they work the project, because it teaches you how to go out and put the whole thing together and do the hours. I see you have the hours spelled out here, and
Yeah.
it's really good, very good.
And then these two beneficial name sign up there.
Okay,
And date.
okay.
But that's
Okay, it says,
for when you approve it. When you approve that I did it.
in my opinion, this Eagle Scout Service Project meets Eagle Scout Requirement 5 as stated on page 4 of this workbook. Okay, but I don't know what
Oh.
page 5, is that here? Or what does page 4 say?
I can bring up what it says, but it's that I met all the requirements when I started the project.
Right.
If you want me, I can look up the exact
No,
wording.
no, that's good, because you had come in the beginning, told us what the project was, told
Yeah.
us the time frame and everything, so is everybody satisfied that people that have seen it?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, very nice.
Fantastic
Thank
job.
It's 2/7/19,
Just that one line.
and that's the Paul Parker. Okay, and do I sign both of them?
Yeah.
if you want. I just need one.
Just need one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put the other one with the
Fine.
project. All right, thank you very much, thank you.
Check.
All right, we'll turn that in.
Excess funds that are there, could you possibly spend that money? They want to put some trees around those fences over there.
Splits the general fund.
Right, they thought maybe we can put it in our conservation fund, but, we'll probably could go to the beautification fund or I'll have to find out, or just to go to the general fund, I'm not sure.
It's too bad we didn't know it before. We could have had him put the trees in.
They did put one tree in.
It would have been part of the project.
That's right. An enhanced project.
Yeah.
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 Send them along, send them along. So I think that we're all set, and like I said, it really came out nice, and the plexiglass is holding up well on the,
Okay. Thank you.
writing, that's,
Thank you for checking.
checked it out yesterday. It's good. Then did you sink them in cement, the posts?
Yes, they are all synced in cement.
Good, very good. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
in.
you.
Thank you for your efforts.
Good luck with the rest of the project, getting it passed. All right, next on the agenda is Renee Thoreau, project at tax map 22, lot 11-522 Charles Bancroft Highway.
Good evening, board. Since our last meeting, it was suggested that some of you walk the site. Joan has. Nobody else wanted to walk it. So you're able to find certain boundary markers, more giving Joan and the other board members a more understanding where the facility would go in relation to the property.
And we found this.
We found pretty much everything we were looking for.
We went up in the front property, then we got down into here, but then it got too brushy, so we went over to the Morse Falls property
You guys want to see?
and walked down. We found this bound. Sure.
So we found these boundary markers. which tells us where this would be roughly in relation. Then we found this berm where this would drop off, and then where this would go. And then we kind of located roughly where the detention bond would be roughly. We walked the path, and then we found these boundary markers where the railroad tracks were. We found pretty much,
Yeah, we found those down there.
yeah, we found these boundary markers
Mhm.
in relation to
What,
the
didn't
railroad
we find
tracks.
two up here? We found this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, found these two right there.
Oh, okay.
That was right on the, right there, the white fence right there, and we found this one,
Okay.
which gave us an idea where this building would go. And then we found the drop off right about here where it drops off, slopes off quite a bit. Right about there. It's a big drop off. So aesthetically, you won't even see these from the road. You won't even see these
These
from the
would drop
road.
off.
Because it drops off quite a bit.
Right.
So we gave Joan and the other board members here a better understanding where things would go.
And Tobin did say when we were out there, he was on the sidewalk that I was on, that he might have pulled some of these up if this stormwater
Yep.
detention area needs to be bigger.
Yep. I mean, once we do a new topo
Mhm.
and a more evaluation of things, if we have to eliminate something to accommodate, then that's what we'll have to.
Right, we shrink it
Sure.
down if necessary. Mhm. That makes sense.
Whatever we need to make it work
Make it
down
work,
there.
yeah.
Absolutely. Since that time, Joan asked information on the containment system that we'd be using, because the concern is where we look aesthetically above ground. So I was able to provide Joan some information on that, with some pictures. And basically, for all intents and purposes, it's a concrete platform pad, and it's a metal. The inside of it's a metal box encased in concrete for the most part.
Okay.
What was the
I'm trying to get more
dimensions?
pictures. I didn't get pictures. I thought Joan would have it, and that would be right. This would be.
What was the dimensions on, how long were these?
I don't know.
Carl?
I don't know. It'd be. I think we're linking like 5,000 gallon and then 3,000 gallons, which I don't know the dimension of those.
Yeah, somebody has said, but I don't remember what they were.
So, which I forwarded to Joan, and I assumed she forwarded to you guys, so you know what it looks like. Which then we would have steel posts surrounding it for protection, safety, and all that stuff. Frank, Chief Frank came, he reviewed it and showed him the plans, and he had seen the containment system, and he sent the letter having no issues
Yeah, I
with it
have
in
that.
terms of
Yeah.
safety and
Yeah, I read
fire
that.
protection, all that stuff.
Well, he says the fire department will do a complete review of the
Yep.
site plan during the planning board
Right, yep.
approval process. He didn't have any concerns at this time.
At this point, he was very comfortable with the system we were proposing to use.
Okay, let me tell you what I've done so
Yes.
far. I got a hold of Manchester. That Irving station went in 2011. I got that email. And they didn't have any, the butters didn't have any issues. A couple people came. They did have issues of when they were constructing the site, they had to inspect the vehicles every day for leakage, which I
Okay.
kind of thought weird that you're putting in a
And-
gas station, but they're expecting, okay.
The reason Joan was asking, because they're much closer to the river than this, our project would be.
Right.
Since they're much closer, what were the issues they encountered to get their facility built? So I don't know if she got any more information on that. other
And
than-
then Troy asked an interesting question today is the aquifer, because I've been concerned about the aquifer, and I've been trying to do some more research on the aquifer. Is the aquifer contaminated from PFOA? So I have a call into Brendan Kiernan at State, and he sent a note to another person at the state. And I got a hold of, Ryan Friedman does mapping for National Regional Planning Commission. Our aquifer is a little higher than the Merrimack Water District's wells. Their wells are a little bit further south, because I was concerned that if there was contamination, we'd go right across to Merrimack's wells.
The contamination that's already in the water already.
What?
The contamination that's already,
Well, anything.
Okay. okay.
So then I talked to somebody who is up on Forest Lane that had a well and is now on Pennachuck. Their well was 200 feet deep, and they had 6 to 7 parts per billion PFOA, and the
Trillion?
well, whatever it is, 6 to 7 parts, million, trillion.
Yes.
And
So there's
the
no
cutoff
difference.
is 70. 70 is what they don't like you to
Right.
have. So as was 6 to 7, and their well was 200 feet deep. So I still don't know much about the aquifer. I'm, still trying to get some research on that. I did send you all this groundwater contamination report. And what else do I have here? Oh, the letter that DES, New Hampshire DES sent to SNL Project, the big warehouse, they're not allowed to take any soil off the site because they're afraid it's contaminated.
Okay.
Because it was, the PFOA, way I understand it, is coming from the air and contaminating the soil and going down through. So I did get in touch with the state to see if they had done more soil testing at the SNL site. And they did have a 23-page report that I didn't get to go through all the way today. So I guess, but then he did say to one of the farmers that there was not a problem with the, I can't remember where that was, with growing the crops. And
I think every farm in town has been given that exact same word from Concord, that there is no contamination issues.
down
whatsoever.
down that
Right,
far.
yeah.
And the horse farm is on Pennachuck Water with the horses and the house.
Mhm.
So I still don't have a solid answer on the aquifer. That's the SNL
Yeah,
letter.
I was curious when I see that.
Oh, so here's the aquifer map. And then I had printed out Merrimack's, but when I talked to Ryan Friedman at the GIS department, like I said, it didn't exactly line up our high yield aquifer with theirs. But there's their protection district. The other concern I have is the residents in this area. This is map. What is this map? Let's say. Map 22. So here you have our Morris Falls site. Here's 15 acres of the Thoreau site, and then Smith's Garage is next door.
Right.
And then you have Forest Lane and all this Brook Road, all this
And
residential up
what's directly
here.
across the street from the site?
On which site? This site
Yes,
from
yes.
is Craig Young's old house,
Okay, what's right
Continental.
behind that?
Continental.
Okay, and that's, so that with Greg's house, his house will be gone momentarily, so that'll all be part of the same project. I'm just as a point of information, I mean, I can see the concern for the houses, but we have,
Yeah, it's true. You have Continental here. I don't know exactly what I think their processing place is back further this way. Yeah, because here's the,
Well, Continental bought Craig Young's
yeah,
right.
right.
house and his old warehouse. He
Yeah,
owns all
using
that
I
now.
believe, yeah, they can go in the
Right.
warehouse.
I think his plan is to keep the house and rent it to one of his workers.
Well, it depends. The house is.
Yeah, it depends on whether the house is short.
Yeah.
So Renee did say that be willing to have lights out or dim lights at 10 o'clock for the gas
When
station.
we get to the planning board, we'll go through all that with the planning board. In order, so right now.
But are you willing to go that route?
Of
Because
course.
okay.
Yeah.
Right now, go ahead. What are you going to say?
What I'm saying is my brother and I are going to develop this property.
Right.
And it's kind of a little bit of a difficult property. So it's either that, so we felt this would be the best to develop it. And now that Pennachuck, we have town waters, like the chance of us contaminating well water is minimal now because everybody's in well water at that corner.
Well,
I will go
well water.
well water.
Well,
I have every intention of providing the most up-to-date, reliable containment system and all those things above ground and all that stuff. I need to go get some variances in order to get to the planning board. Gas station, whatever, there's 3 or 4 we need to have.
Aquifer District.
And I'm not going to spend any more time and effort going in this direction if I don't have your board supporting this. Because if that's the case,
Supporting or
then
at least not opposing.
not opposing it.
Right.
Either one would be
Either way.
fine, because it is an expensive venture. and it's an investment to us in the community. Now, the only alternative is to go what's permittable, which would be cluster housing. That would be the only alternative to develop this property. I would not like to go down that road, but we are,
Multifamily housing.
I'm sorry?
Multifamily.
Multifamily housing, which that is permitted, and I don't need anything, I just go to planning board and work it out, so forth. Prefer not to go down that route, prefer to think this would be a better use of the property, and also better for the town. Don't know what else to do, try to hopefully get the board to either, support it or not oppose it. So I don't know what else to provide, what you need to
So,
do
the,
for us to go
The
forward.
gas station up in Manchester, which I didn't realize was that old, 2010, 2011, that went in.
Mhm.
And that's about the time you were thinking of doing this down here.
I did actually, I came here around a year or two before they built it.
Right,
right.
right. But now that there's one basically 2 miles up the road, is
Mhm.
this, I mean, this economically doesn't matter to the Conservation Commission. That's
Correct.
not our,
That's not-
Probably not, no.
That's not our issue, no.
that's not our issue.
It's
But,
the investors.
Right.
so have you, I guess the question is, have you researched since that time whether this would be viable?
I'm very confident this would be very viable, yes.
Okay. That's-
Otherwise, I wouldn't proceed this.
Well, that's my
I've been in
question.
business for 30 years. I don't go making rash decisions without thoroughly investigating it.
Right, right.
Now, 10 years ago, if I remember when I had a company do an evaluation at that time, this is almost 10 years ago. I think they said we had about 10,000 cars an average a day go through Litchfield, believe it or not.
It's up from that.
And I think we all know since then it's increased dramatically since then. I think the cutoff point for a viable gas station, I think they said 5,000 to 8,000 cars a day. You get so many cars, so many gallons, and they keep it all these things, and it would be viable. And I used the Irving report that they used to calculate these things. I'm fairly confident that it more than exceeds 10,000 cars a day, blah, blah, blah. So I think it would be not too concerned about the viability of this,
Okay.
of this
Okay, that's
facility.
just a question.
Right, no, I understand.
Curiosity.
No, it is a huge investment, no doubt. It is
So
true.
the above ground storage tanks, and I rather go with above ground.
Mhm.
Tell us again how they would be screened so that they wouldn't be, because we saw the tanks that went into BJ's. They're huge.
Yeah,
I think those are larger than he's proposing. I believe they're larger than he's proposing there. Because
Could be.
I'm trying to picture the size tanks he's talking about. And I'm thinking,
I'm sorry I didn't get the dimensions of those
I
tanks.
think he's looking about.
But they're not gonna be that
Yeah.
high or that huge.
Mhm.
They'll be, I mean, it's gonna be definitely feasible. As you saw in the pictures, they're
Well,
low
if you
enough,
have
we
the-
can,
We have the width, the building's 60 feet wide.
yes,
So if this is to scale, I'm assuming, so
roughly, yes. Yeah, the,
1 inch equals 50
right.
feet.
Well, we're gonna have the buildings here, so this here won't be visible. So we can always put trees, shrubs, fencing.
And like you said, we have a little bit of a sketchy woods now on our property with the direct abutter, but
He would be willing to enhance it, I believe he said
He
last
would be
time.
willing
There's no, I don't need to go that far, so this one should be untouched.
Yeah.
That's the plan anyway.
But if you needed to enhance it, you would
Right, we
enhance
have
it.
to add trees and so forth.
or what about even adding like fir trees on this, a row on this side, on our side? Although we have a-
I'm sure if that's
I'm
necessary.
sure, yeah, I'm not talking huge many plants and trees. No, that would be.
Okay, well,
And as we walked it, when the trail was here,
Right,
we saw
right,
how much.
right.
It wasn't like right there.
Right.
You were concerned about that. You walked it back, there's quite a few vegetation and so forth.
So is this 1, 2, 3, 4? Is this about the size you're thinking? Is this just what you're thinking or?
Four pumps.
Yeah, we're assuming 4 pumps with a separate pump for diesel for the bigger trucks.
Because Irving up there must have 6, 8 pumps.
Well,
Airport.
they'll probably get 7 times the traffic he's talking about. He's talking
Well,
about.
obviously, they're at the
Yeah.
bridge, and there's a lot of commercial development back there.
Yeah, they get all the
But the
traffic.
biggest
Get you.
complaint that everybody has is that their diesel station is part of their gas
Yes,
pump.
yeah.
They don't have so the bigger trucks have a hard time getting
And
in
if you
and out.
have a diesel car, it's really a hassle if somebody's
Right.
running out of
That's why we propose to have this separated to give the bigger trucks a chance to
Yeah.
do their thing.
So what would the tank be here, over there too?
Yes, everything would
All
be
piping,
here.
all piping.
All the
stuff,
piping
okay.
here.
Mhm.
There'll be double wall, they'll have alarm systems, so
Mhm.
there's we'll do daily inspections or whatever is required. It's all,
The only thing objection, and I'm going to withdraw the word objection. The only comment I will have is those preferred the underground. Obviously, Joan's the other way around. She prefers above
Right.
ground. And I
Well,
still.
everything I've read.
well, when we
is-
proposed
is-
underground 10 years ago,
Right.
it was repeatedly asked, how can we guarantee not knowing?
Li- Life and life, nothing in life is
Well,
guaranteed.
that's exactly
That
what
was-
the
that-
engineer
For
said.
Tom, that was a huge point of contention. And
Mhm.
so that's why we're saying above ground.
Mhm.
We're going to see it.
Yeah.
The minute there's a problem.
And everything I've read, they're more regulating underground storage tanks. They briefly mentioned above ground, but they're really on the.
I wish I had pictures of that one they built in Nashua and Canal Street. I believe those were all built in chambers underground, concrete bunkers, and they actually built them. The tanks are all underground. I mean, the station's been built now for 3 years. It still hasn't opened yet.
That one across
from
from
Sanders,
B&E?
yeah, from Sanders, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I believe don't hold me to anything, but I believe it was completely encased, concrete, alarmed, physically
Probably.
climbed down the manhole into the area where the tanks are. As you mentioned a minute ago, alarms, totally alarms, any dropping, anything
Sure.
at all, and shows up in alarms. But I mean, if it's viable, I mean, as long as the aesthetics is not
Yeah, as long as it's.
offensive, I would withdraw my concern for the above ground, but with
We definitely
reservations, 'cause I-
want to do a country style store
Yeah,
because
right.
that goes with
yeah,
the
the flow.
what Litchfield represents, country.
Yeah.
Not looking to do ultra modern. That's not what we're all about. That's not what I want to do.
What's the rest of the board have to say? Anything?
I got a question.
Sure.
Assuming, no, it has nothing to do with the map.
okay.
And let's just make the assumption that this whole thing is, now, are you gonna run the gas station yourself? Or are you folks gonna sell the gas
No,
station?
we want to keep it.
We're gonna keep it.
We're going to be the owner of the gas station and maintain this, and it's a future investment for us. And
Okay,
we don't have plans on selling it, plan on keeping it.
all right, because that was kind of one of my concerns that, we put everything in writing and
Right.
we document everything, and
Understood.
for some reason, if you sell it to a mobile Exxon or who the heck knows.
Documentation still
It
goes
still
with the
goes with it,
site.
and they would not be
Yeah,
able to.
I understand that,
This
but,
should be out.
We have every intention of
but
owning
they,
it, running it, maintaining it.
and this is my concern, they wouldn't be as conscientious
Understood.
sticking to the agreements that we signed, and
They'd have to be, if it was on the plan.
Right.
If it's not on the plan and recorded, they'd have.
Well,
to.
that's where your enforcement of your town has to come into play. I mean, I know there's always concerns from different people about the so-called, I don't know what you call them, but the little trenches in the concrete. And I've never seen a station yet that has ever maintained those gasoline catches in the concrete.
Yeah, They had a name for
I'm
it.
sure that and I bet you if you went to any town that has those gas station plans approved, I bet those things are in there. I bet they're supposed to have been maintained, but I bet nobody maintained. So what I'm just saying, it's an enforcement
Sure,
issue.
sure.
If you've got good people running it, you're not having a problem.
Well, obviously, and we're assuming the assumptions we get through the zoning board to get to the planning board.
Mhm.
And of course, it will be scrutinized and detailed and all that other stuff. That's what I expect and plan on doing.
Now, we really haven't mentioned the storage too much. We're really concentrating on the gas
Yes.
station. What, any other questions down there on gas station or the storage?
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I just noticed on the map on this retention pond that's right against the road, how deep is that going to be?
I don't.
They haven't been sized
It's
yet.
conceptual. Everything's
This
conceptual.
is
Yeah,
just
this is conceptual.
Okay,
So.
but it's about 50, he's saying 50 inches?
No, it'd be much bigger than
They
that.
have to size it for the storms.
Right.
50 feet.
50, so
Single
clean my
line.
glasses here.
Well, this is conceptual.
Yeah,
Obviously, before you go much further, once I get past the zoning board and get approvals, then we have to do a full topo. We have to have calculations. Luke Karen's got to get involved, the whole 9 yards.
mhm.
Again, this is conceptual. This might be bigger, so we might lose a building. we won't know until we start doing the calculations. Oops, sorry, the impervious area and the runoffs and which we'll fully have to do. We will do.
Yeah.
When we get to that point. So then, again, this is conceptual. We took an old topo where all the markers are, the boundaries,
Yeah.
the setbacks. We made everything fit as is. Doesn't mean that this will get bigger or smaller once we're in the calculations, and it is what it will be. Of course, like I said, we will be involved. And I'm sure the National Commission,
Is that one you're talking about?
Oh, NRPC.
NRPC, they'll be involved.
If something, if you have a.
So everybody's going to make sure
That's what it is.
that everybody
It's conceptual.
meets all the requirements.
You recall what this means, snout and smart sponge? Was that for overflow of something?
I'm sorry, Joe. Excuse me?
So what the snots on
Do you
the plan here.
Recall what that was?
What's we talking about?
Oh,
Wasn't that for
okay,
overflow?
so what, it's a type of product
Yeah.
that's in the ground. And let's say someone spills a gallon, whatever. And
Yeah.
if it reaches there, because it's meant to contain that, it becomes black.
Oh, okay, so it's
Immediately.
identified, you
And
immediately know it.
it absorbs, it's like
A big sponge,
absorbent.
yeah.
That's what I
It
thought.
swells, expands, it traps it, so it doesn't go any further than that. And the minute the gas hits it, we know there's a
Because
problem.
it turns black.
We call, we pick it up, we mitigate
Get
it,
the
so
get the
forth.
hazmat people in to clean
Right,
it up.
it's a type of product there they call snout.
So, because here is catch basins with that stuff. Yeah.
So it traps it,
Mhm.
absorbs it, and turns black. So you know there's a problem. And you pick up, you clean it up and so forth, and then replace it in case gas does happen to.
And then the other
Spill
thing
or something.
we talked about in the field that, and that's will be at the planning board for snow
Yeah.
storage.
Right.
And
Mhm.
limited
Right.
salt and
Yep.
all that.
Right. No, obviously we won't do any salting. We'll probably snow blow, whatever. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And of course, we discuss, hours of operation and so
Right.
forth. Won't be 24/7.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And again, this was per your recommendation that we do something very low impact. There's no water.
Yeah.
Just electricity.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't need toilets or
Yeah.
lavatories.
Yeah, that's good utilization of land.
There's no, we don't, and then, low impact.
And there's a demand, it seems like everywhere you go, anywhere they build
Seems
storage
like
places,
they're
they're rented
building
before
it.
they
Yeah,
get.
is there
it seems
not?
like they're
Oh,
going
there's
nuts.
none in Litchfield, right?
No, there's one approved years ago, but never got built. down the south.
Yeah, Rick,
Actually,
Rick had
two
approved.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Okay, one approved.
There was one at the
You
south.
know
one too,
where,
yeah. Oh, yeah, Morgan, where Morgan is.
Right
there,
across.
yeah.
he had approved it, that was
I
a long
forgot that,
time ago,
yeah.
but he just,
No,
for
we had
whatever
one
reason,
down,
never acted on it.
we had one down the south end with a guy.
Right.
My wife calls it the saloon house, it looks like a
Right.
saloon.
Questions?
Do you know what the life expectancy of these above ground pools,
Thanks.
tanks are?
I do not know, but I can get that information. I'm
Because
sure it's
like the
fairly
buried
long.
tanks, doesn't the state require them to take them out every 20 years or something or other?
Below ground they are.
Yeah.
Above ground, I'm sure there's an inspection and I'm sure there's whatever that is. And after so many years, we'll have to replace it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there is. Nothing's forever.
No. But
Whatever.
they'll outlive us.
Most of them on this board won't be here. There's a couple of them that might be, but
But whatever those inspections
Speak for
are, we'll have to.
you're going, Harry, you're going, face it.
Andrew or Michael, any questions? Michael?
We were out there.
Yeah, we
the
did. We went to the site.
Sidewalk, so yeah, a lot of questions answered.
Well, are you folks ready for a vote to yay or nay that we either support or we don't oppose? Let me give you a little background. In 2011, 10, we really came out strongly opposing it because of the underground tanks, because everybody up there was on wells. No one up there is on wells now because of the PFOA. They've all been put on to Pennachuck. And the underground was a big issue.
Well, the only thing I would do if we are going to be entertaining a motion, I would make a motion that we allow it to move forward, to go through the process without any recommendation. I mean, we're not going to oppose it. In my opinion, I'm not going to oppose it.
In the Aquifer district, we have to have a comment. When it goes-
In that case, as long as they meet all the requirements, I would.
That will be in front of the zoning board when they.
And we
do
did
that.
agree, or of course, we're going to note, who's the, can't think of that organization.
The river.
Right.
Oh, the Limerlac.
Oh, the
Yes.
Limberlac.
Michael's
Lower
on that.
Merrimack
Michael's-
Obviously, we'll
Advisory.
let them know what's going on and if they have any obviously, because it doesn't do any good to try to go through that without them being notified, because then there'll be a problem. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, you're-
I will, and if you're gonna have any like alteration of terrain permits, if you're gonna have
Sure.
shoreline permits,
Sure.
it's automatic.
Right.
So basically, it's gonna go to Limerlac and they'll probably contact you. So.
Sure.
It wouldn't be within the shoreline, but it'll have alteration of terrain.
But regardless, we plan on notifying them.
That's always a good thing.
Of course, I'm here to make friends, not enemies. It's not good business.
So are you going to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we proceed, allow it to proceed through the process with the, I think it's a good plan a good conceptual plan to be redefined before it ever get,
Motion, write down the motion. Secretary.
Madam Secretary, Mr. Secretary.
So Tom's making a motion to allow the conceptual idea to go forward for the gas station storage building plan on map 22, lot 11. Would anybody like to second that motion?
I will second it.
Roger seconds the motion.
I
Any more discussion?
have another question.
Go ahead.
All right, if we're going to approve the conceptual plan,
We're not
We're not
approving, we're not
anything.
approving a plan.
I mean, okay,
We're,
You're not opposing.
we're not opposing it, but will he be coming back to us?
oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I'm sure he'll be back to talk with us.
Okay,
He'll have to go to the zoning board for a special exception, a variance. I believe a variance.
I believe there's
for-
3 of them I need.
Yeah,
I need, I 3 or 4.
that'll be his first step after
Right.
he gets a more formal plan. He has to give that to the ZBA, more formal plan. Then if
Yeah.
he passes all that, then he'll go to the planning board. Well, actually, before, we'll need to write a letter because in the Aquifer ordinance, it says it has to go to the Conservation Commission. So yes, he will be back.
okay, so they will be back with,
With the refined.
But we don't approve the plan. We are concerned with the environmental issues. The planning board approves the plan.
no, I understand that,
So I'm going to go to the zoning board,
Well, we have to submit a letter.
right? And hopefully I'll be able to get past all those issues I need to make this, and then come back to the board and then planning, and then the real work begins. And that's when the real
Well,
work
probably you'll
begins.
be coming back to us after you get a more solid
Right,
plan.
right. Well, yeah, we'll have to have a topo, we'll have everything all sized. I mean, everything will be
That'll take a
crystal
while.
clear, and then reviewed.
And then reviewed by the planning board. And it really gets into the nitty gritty at the planning. board.
Right. Like I said, that's when the work begins.
Michael. yes, sir.
No, the only thing is, I think I'm going to abstain
Yeah.
from this vote only because, as being the chair of the planning board,
Right.
for the record, I want to make it, this as fair a process for you as possible. So I will be abstaining from
Okay.
this vote, just so you know.
Any other comments, questions?
I personally think this is a good use for that land. I would much rather see this than multifamily houses down in there.
That's not that's why we chose this route.
So I think it's good use and, they've been paying taxes on this piece of land for X number of years and it's just sitting there and it's,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I got
Okay.
I got the receipts to prove it.
There's a motion on the floor to have the Conservation Commission, would you say not oppose?
Yeah.
Not oppose the conceptual plan and let it go forward and have the applicant,
and Roger seconded.
Roger seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roger.
And so that's, anybody opposed? And Michael abstains. So it's
Abstain.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor and 1 abstention. 5, 1, 2.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
So we'll get to work on that.
Yep.
And we'll definitely I'll keep Joan abreast of what's going on. And if during that time, anybody has any other questions, if you ever want to walk it, anybody else, just let me know.
Right.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very much.
We'll see you again.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. I don't know if that was a good omen when we walked down, we saw 4 deer bouncing.
Yeah.
Really? Harry didn't have his gun? Gee,
It's not, it's not
we're
during
coming
hunting
down
season.
the-
Doesn't matter.
As we're coming down and we're walking, all of a sudden he said, "Did you see that?" I'm like, and it scared me. And I saw 4 deer just bouncing off.
That bottom retention, is that where the Beaver Dam was originally?
No, the stream is where the
The dam was like
Beaver Dam was.
right. It was. I don't know if it's still there anymore,
No, it's long gone.
No,
but it was there at
Well,
one time.
you don't show the brook over here, huh?
The brook
It's on the other
is
side.
here. This is the brook line. This heavy dotted line.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And when we walked the railroad, and as we're walking, we did get close. And Joan and he can tell you, when we walked here, we could see it. You remember? We got close so we could see the brook.
Yep.
Here, there is a little brook here.
Yeah.
So we would want buffering too along, we were pretty far, when we were on the railroad track, we were pretty far from the back of your property.
Yes, very
And-
much so.
You still think that the warehouses would be, excuse me, one level? So that
Storage.
there wouldn't be
As
storage?
far as I know, it's one level. I haven't even got to that part.
Mhm.
I don't know.
We would really
Obviously, we'll
want
have
to
to look
screen
at
from
the.
there too.
I'm sorry?
We would like, we
Right.
wouldn't want to see that either.
I don't think I've ever seen any storage unless it was one of those full-blown storage
If
buildings.
it's two level, then you have to have stairs. and
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
Elevators,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
don't think it'd be viable for us to do that.
yeah,
They
okay.
just built one across in Merrimack there on the old Route 3. It's one of those.
It's the Bluebird, I think
Yeah,
they call it. I mean,
yeah.
That's
They
like,
built one over
it's
there.
like a Taj Mahal. You got
Yeah.
ladders, you got freight elevators,
Mhm.
you got night watchmen, you got a whole nine
Yeah.
yards.
My junk isn't worth that much.
Most people's isn't.
I mean, we want this to be as low maintenance as possible. So.
Good. Okay.
Anything else?
All righty. See you
Thank you,
soon.
everyone. Have a nice evening.
Yep, thank you.
See you soon.
Glasses? Those
Sorry?
yours? Are those yours?
Oh, thank you.
Well, you might want to see him.
Here comes the good fun. Yeah, I saw them out there. Where'd they go?
Roger wants to see if the,
Oh, do you want to see if
The
the
other
people from
parties out there?
Stage Crossing are out there?
Oh,
see if the stagecoach come in.
I'm waiting to, I walk my dog up there all the time. I'm waiting to get thrown.
Hey, busy night tonight. I didn't know you guys were out here. Come on in.
good evening.
Good evening. Have a seat.
Good to see you.
Anyway. Plug for my computer. Yeah, electricity, but it seems to be working. Yeah. Fire department took our table. I like that table. Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi.
This is Bill Fay.
Paul
Paul
Barber.
from Stage Crossing. And why don't you give us a little background to the issue?
About the, you're talking about the easement business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm assuming that's why you're here.
Yeah, right. Unless you come to something else we know.
Yeah.
Subdivision.
Well, I've lived in Sage Crossing 9 years now, and I've heard of the easement because I live at the other end and
No problem.
nobody bothers me. But a lot of people have complained about strangers walking through and stuff like that to get into the woods. Not often, but it does happen. So I looked at the drawings that we had on the easement, and it just shows between 22 and 24
yeah.
Old Stage, there's a 30-foot easement back into the woods, and it doesn't say where it goes into the woods or anything. It just sort of makes a little turn. And
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, we were out with Joan. He came up to look at it, and turns out that we have to actually get down a couple of units to be able to get into the woods. Now, I don't know whether it was designed that way or not. And other people had been walking up back and forth trying to get into the woods that they didn't know how to access the woods to get onto the conservation land. So when Joan came up, we got into a discussion of something that has been raised in the past, but I'm not privy to any of the talking of what went on at the time. It was to, if we change the right of way and move it down towards around the clubhouse. That
Well-
would save people walking up that road, that access road, and getting in there, and they'd be able to get into the conservation land there.
I think one of the big problem is you have unit 22 and 24, and you have a wide enough area for people to walk through and go straight back. But once they get off our property into the woods, there's vernal pools right
Right,
there.
right.
So they have to take a left and go down through 3 units.
Right.
Unfortunately, 2 of those 3 units are
Yeah.
single women living in it, and they get quite nervous when they see a stranger walking in the
Yeah.
backyard. And from their back window to the woods is probably 25 yards or so. So it's a very short area that people are walking through. So the problem with the vernal pools causes everybody to take a left and then go down 2 units and cut in that way.
So here's an old map I came across. So here's 22 and 24. Here's where they were proposing a road to go back. So then we bought this piece, map 12 by 25. So like he says, you have plenty of room to walk in here, but then the trail is actually over here. That's the old trail. So you'd come in here and go that way.
Where's the vernal pool?
The vernal pool, there's one here and there's a huge one over here, edge of vernal pool, all this. This is where they were gonna put the houses and steel on it. So if we kept this, and the reason this is coming up now, it's come up many times in the past, but we have this piece, we really can't easily get into it. It does go out to Albuquerque, but it's a long ways from there to the trails. And now that we're getting more publicity on these things, people are gonna come up here and they cannot park on Stage Crossing. They'd have to park at the little bump out by the library because you can't park at the library. Inside joke.
Is that right, Roger?
I did park there the other day, Monday. I did go up here, Troy and I went up and met with a gentleman a couple weeks ago. And Troy came up with one idea. I went up this past Monday and I looked at it again and we're really going to take a look at it in April because I'm sure all this is going to be wet. The old trolley track, as you can see, is over here and that impounds some water. Yeah, there it is. You can actually see one of the old poles is right there off in the back of the clubhouse. You can see one of the old power poles.
Still there.
And all the glass insulators are gone, but if we kept this, we would have to definitely put some little signs like enter here and then turn here and don't walk in people's gardens. It isn't an ideal situation. I mean, I agree that people living here, especially if we're going to use it more to get into this property, the trail is right here.
Has there been talk about coming in from Albuquerque? Maybe like
Because
creating.
there aren't any, well, there's a huge, once you get to the power line here, it's really wet. To get let's see, you can get across, you can't ski from the middle school that way because it gets wet after it thaws out, but you can get across the trail. But this is all wooded. There aren't any trails out in here. There used to be, but there aren't any.
Now, is that where Matt's been working?
No,
No.
no. He's working over off Town Road.
We had talked about years ago about building a small parking lot next to the library, where the
Right.
birch trees are.
Right.
Would it be feasible to build a trail from that area over to there?
That's where it gets really wet back in there, right behind the library. It's wet. We have to look. You could walk in there now and you can see where it's going to be
Mhm.
really wet in April.
But that would be the ideal
Well,
thing.
Basically, from the library to the clubhouse
It's really wet.
is wet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we were thinking when we were out there with Troy that if we had people park down here and they walked here and picked up that old road, here's the old road, which is all brushed in now, and walked up that. The trouble is when it gets up here, it went right to the units. So here's the issue. There's a ridge line here, right here. So I measured it on Google Maps. It's about 1,200 feet from here to here that would have to be worked on. And then there are trees that would have to go. And you'd have to go below this ridge line to get up into here. So it looks like a little more of an undertaking than I
It's
thought.
quite a major project, actually.
Yeah,
when you come right down to
actually,
it.
yeah.
We're talking many thousands of dollars.
Well,
Project properly.
Troy had this idea that we could split the 50/50 if they would pay the engineering, the legal, buy the wood for the boardwalks or whatever we needed, and then we would supply the labor. The trouble is, I don't know if I can get that much labor.
No, not anymore. It's not that many Eagle Scout projects.
I mean, because it's a matter of a lot, taking out some wood, not major trees, but decent sized trees that need logging attention to them. And this old path here is pretty much need to brush it. There was one tree down across it. That's not much of a deal, and brushed out. But then, like I said, when you get to this ridge line right here, then you have to come around the bottom of this ridge line. And
So what did you say, like, that all has to be
this would have to be brushed out. This is the
brushed
only way.
out and then a new trail put below the
Oh,
ridge
man,
line?
Yeah, yeah. Because see, the trail went that way.
Yeah, right through the house. Okay.
So, I don't know. First of all, I think you'd have to see if your people would want to go to that kind of expense.
Well, we definitely know there'll be some expense involved in it, but I think,
It would need to be surveyed for one. The pathway would need to be,
Well-
once we got to the ridge line, surveyed of where we were going to go.
yeah. We're gonna have to determine where our property ends, how far out into the woods
Now,
it goes,
I have,
and,
yeah, I have another plan here. The original plan from when Chamberlain's owned it. And so this was, let's see.
We'll look at it.
Old Stagecoach Road. Oh, yeah, because it was the old Stagecoach
Those
Road.
all states get roads.
Here's the railroad bed. And see, the bounds, they had blazed trees. So if we could find these blazed trees, and then there is
Yeah.
granite bound found here, we'd be in pretty good shape. And was Jean's house. Jean's house,
4x4 farm, yeah.
yeah. So, let's see.
well, this is that was
That's it,
the
the old
original
house.
home that
Yeah,
was there, right?
Power house.
Yeah,
power.
Can you see?
the,
I can see.
this,
Thank you.
That's the trolley track.
well, the,
The bound, that little monument,
no, the monument is over here, but this is
that-
actually your clubhouse. This clubhouse sits right
right,
on
because
this end.
I
of it,
come
right
down
there.
the trolley bed this way.
Yeah.
And you do come out a little bit before the
Yeah.
clubhouse.
The clubhouse is right, it's, a portion of this like runs under would have
But,
been under the parking lot.
but these, with the blazed trees,
Yeah.
somebody that knew what they were looking for could probably find that tree line. There's the, that little vernal pool, because here's the old trail.
Mhm.
So if we went to that little vernal pool, I bet we could find, I just see it, the granite, 7x7 granite bound. Might be a little bit buried, but probably could find it.
Mm.
Because see, that was Stabile's piece.
Mhm.
So that, yeah, we need to find that bound. Because
How would it be marked?
it was 4 inches high at the time, 7x7,
7x7,
under the
wow.
leaves probably, but we could start finding these blazed trees in a line to find that. That's how they surveyed that way,
Yeah.
to blaze the trees in a line.
This one's it's okay.
Yeah, but that was quite a few years
After all
ago.
these
That's
years.
probably pretty well grown up now.
So this is,
But the bound should still be there, it might be buried a little bit.
Yeah.
so this is the mountain.
With the girdle up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's Stabile's property that we don't.
That's great, but it can last a while in those trees.
Yeah.
That's the
See
line.
those little pocket marks of them too.
So you're saying basically where a clubhouse is right at the very edge
It's
of the
right,
property line?
it's right, it's.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, the parking lot runs, over the,
Oh, wait, where's that?
this
map?
road here. You'll see, it.
That
I think it
picture.
shows on one of the.
There's the clubhouse. This has the property line off the NRPC maps. Yeah, that's And I know that first unit was close to the property line.
Yeah.
Can't see the ridge line on here, but you can on.
No.
This is, I guess this is where
Library
you're
is-
coming in and then walking over to here.
Right,
Yeah,
come in over here and then you have to walk back over to here. Because, let's see, that little runoff pool is right close to, it's more like right in here. So if we kept, but it started to get heavily used, these people aren't gonna want 10 people a day going through their backyard
No.
with dogs and everything else.
But talking theory, if we could maybe go by the clubhouse or behind the clubhouse.
Right,
What
behind the
we're saying
clubhouse.
is enter, you can park down here where that pole
Yeah.
is,
Little bushes, yeah.
and then walk, just use the parking lot.
Okay, and then,
And then you can see you can see the old road from the,
yeah, I can see that.
yeah,
Right here.
then walk, and which
Walk
would
here.
eliminate,
Correct.
but then when you get to the units, which is about here, well, because that was Shirley Lee's, so they'd have to be here. Then there's that ridge line, which is over here. Here's the old trail. There's that little runoff pool, where when we walked in, that's that little one on the left. Here's the space.
now how much land is belongs to you behind the house? How far out? 25 feet or?
Well, it's,
What's the scale on this? 1 inch equals 200 feet, so
Is it rough?
It's 200
1 inch
feet.
equals 200 on this
1
scale.
inch.
It shows about 200 feet.
Yeah,
Hmm.
200 there. This one's close.
But the new trail would actually be right behind the clubhouse.
Right.
Well, the old road that we used to take is right. You could walk to the clubhouse, get on that old road if it was brushed out, and go right up. Then when you get to the first unit, because remember we used to walk up to that first unit before those trees were there.
Yeah, we've walked it half a dozen times.
Yeah. And now you'd have to start a new trail below that ridge line to get over to this existing trail.
So basically, what we're looking at right here would be somewhere around the first house? Or further?
There's that little.
and when you get up into this,
So that little pool there, that little wet one
That
there
was
is this
between-
one, is this one.
Yeah, I was talking about the marker.
Let's see,
So theoretically, we want the trail
Yeah,
on the
might
other
be
side
right
of the
behind
markers, right?
might it be near the first house?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
What'd you say?
because, pardon, I'm
What
sorry.
did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
No, I'm saying that the theory is to, if we can do it, is make the trail for people to go on the other side of the markers. Because if you don't do that, they'll be walking through the backyard and we haven't
Well,
really
they are.
solved.
They already are.
They are,
Yeah.
see, well, the theory is that they could come up because the old road is on your property? I think it is. Yeah. So they'd start at the clubhouse, they'd be on Stage Crossing property until they got to the first unit, and then they have to bear over to the north to get onto our property. See, the property line doesn't go down here,
Which is,
which is right.
you're basically picking that up here from the original way you were doing it too, correct? You come in here,
No, I mean, what we do now? No. No, you're walking in here and walking across the lawn to get to the trail
right,
here.
right.
yeah.
But this way, you'd be below that ridge line. You wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to see the people. And then we'd go to our property because there goes the property line.
But don't you want property down here?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where it's
That's all wet.
all wet. I don't know. I think that's what I'm saying. This part, we'd have to look at it in April to see.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's all wet. I know behind the library is wet. The library to there is wet. I know
Yeah.
that.
As far, I haven't been there, but there are no signs like no trespassing
No.
or
No,
nothing out back that indicates
Behind the houses?
behind the house.
Where they're going now? No, that's what I'm saying. If we had to keep it where it is, we'd have to have little signs,
Yeah.
at the market.
Enter
markers, enter here,
here.
or
Enter, yeah.
only walk here,
50 foot.
like we do at the boat ramp, except not very big signs, don't not
Not offensive.
enter that way.
Goes on.
Yeah, to, some sort of indication that
Right.
people
Right.
Yeah.
don't go this way, but stay on that side.
Yeah.
No, I can see the concern for them,
Yeah,
as
I
you
can
just saying,
too.
3 ladies alone. I mean, there was several ladies alone. I can understand seeing people in their backyard. being
And
concerned.
Joan's right, you probably have to walk it again in
Oh, you'd
April,
have to, you'd have to when the weather's.
assuming it doesn't rain again.
Oh, it'll rain again.
You're gonna get boots.
Waiters are
Waiters,
probably
that's
more
what I
like
meant.
it.
I meant.
We could plan to, in April.
Yeah, give me a
April,
call when
we'll,
it gets a little,
get back there and
the end of March, the wood frogs start chirping. And they sound like ducks, but they're wood frogs. So right around the beginning of April probably would be good.
And with our luck, it'll snow from March through
Going this year, it could be right. Could be right.
So if you do find that
Yeah.
down, do you want to
Yeah,
borrow
yeah.
this plan?
I was going to ask you if, I'll make a copy of it.
Yeah, if you could make a copy and
Copy
give
of
it
it
back
and
to
give
me.
it back to you.
Which,
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be something to talk to. Yeah.
this one is my old walking trails and my dogs. And this one, that's the back of the property. That was Chamberlain property. That's what part we own now. And this is the one that, if you take this and find that bound, that would be good. Even if you can find
Yeah.
another bound and measure to that one would be good. So I'd love to see if we can find it.
Picture of that?
Well, you can take it,
Take a
and
picture.
go to Staples
I'll pick it, yeah.
and get a
Send us
copy.
picture.
Yeah, okay.
Then we'll-
It'd be better probably. We're not gonna get the detail probably.
Yeah, good.
All right,
That's surprising.
get it back to me when you can.
Yeah.
You can.
So we
Alrighty,
got a plan, and we'll look at it in the spring.
yeah, yeah,
Put a ways on the web.
yeah.
What it's like. Yeah, but I know that we talked about maybe building 1 or 2 bridges, and get to, from, across.
We either
If it's-
need
if
bridges
it's
or boardwalks or something, yeah. So,
balance.
The,
so,
we
yeah,
have people that do handiwork that live there. We'd
Yeah.
be happy to get out there. They help with some of the maintenance in the place.
yeah.
You don't have any objections about like going on like to the side of the clubhouse?
Well, you got to cross the clubhouse someplace. I mean, you could get on either side of the clubhouse also,
Yeah.
but it might require, maybe it's not feasible, it might be
But
expensive.
the whole point is to move it away from the residents.
Residents, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a win for us and it's a win for the hikers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
they get-
As long as you can get in there and
Yeah.
get to where you want to go,
Yeah.
it would be worth
Yeah.
it.
And it's a win for the ladies that call me up every time they see me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame them.
I can
It's
appreciate
hard to
that.
get emails about it. But that's just the way it is.
Well,
They can understand.
I can understand, yeah.
All right
Thanks for
then.
coming in.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, we'll, toward the end of March, we will set a date.
Yeah,
Just think
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Give me a call.
Get out there and see what we got.
Mosquito repellent
Okay, thank you.
waiters.
About a gallon.
The frogs are for.
Never mind.
Well, let me just put the trail website in here. So I sent that to you. I was going to try and get it on here. Jason Brennan had done a picture of each recreation and trail in town. Did everybody see that? See it?
I mean,
So,
I did, because that's what I do.
We didn't put it at one day.
That's the exact kind of stuff that I do.
Thanks.
Good
night.
I didn't realize he was a GIS manager at his company. So
I don't know why this isn't coming on. It came on this afternoon, but I don't know. Well, anyway, I'll send it to you again. And anyway, he
you're
wants,
sending it as a PDF?
no, it's not a
no, it's a
PDF, it's a
link in
link.
the email.
Click on the link.
Yeah. It doesn't come to my phone.
That would help me. I'll send it again. And it's really, and I'll try and get this working for the next meeting. It has a thumbnail picture of each recreation or trail across the bottom. And then you click on the wasn't, Andrew, you click on the picture and it brought up where it was and everything?
Yeah, the picture or the map.
Yeah.
You can click on the points on the map.
And so stage crossing is in there on one of his things. And I think I don't want him to put that in there right now because I don't mind people walking there, but people are going to start walking with their dogs and people, which I'm having a problem in Moore's Falls with dogs. I'm going to get some signs. I'm not asking if I can put them up. I'm just putting them up.
What's the problem with the dog?
Droppings?
Well, Portsmouth and Merrimack have really nice signs. Go back over to Merrimack probably tomorrow and take a picture of their sign that dog waste contains bacteria and
So it's a
other
map
harmful
that shows all
things. And
points.
people aren't
And then at the
picking
bottom
them up.
there's a
And they
picture.
think that Moore's Falls is just a big woods. Well,
Scroll
get a lot
through.
of dogs. It's
Pops
not
up.
a big woods.
And how does that come on your phone?
I clicked on the link that she sent. So you can like
Is
click
that
on the
like
button.
in your emails?
Yep.
You think you can get it on my phone?
No.
Is that
You get it on your phone, I'll get it on my phone too.
I would have to turn mine on though first. though.
Oh, you always feel like keeps it turned off?
Yeah, I never turn it on.
Interactive, so you can zoom in and out.
Sure.
You save a lot of money that way.
Use a little,
I have a track phone.
Yeah, what the-
town hall.
John, just out of
It will
curiosity,
spare
somebody
out
put a
here.
sign
Oh, yeah,
on
absolutely.
the gate.
Show Tom.
Pardon?
Show Tom.
Get a picture on your-
They put a sign on what?
On the gate, and
What
it's a
gate?
brand new sign, I forget what it said,
What gate?
up at Moore's
You can
Falls.
zoom in.
Oh, yeah, it's just there.
You can
It says,
click on the point and it gives a little
it
description.
was just there. What did it say? Oh, no,
You did
no,
that?
No, Jason
vehicles
does it.
beyond this point.
Okay, I'll have to go look again. I
Vehicles
don't
beyond
remember
this
what it
point.
was.
So what's it under?
Hmm?
What's it under?
What's it under? It's the email. It's a link.
It's just.
It's
So when I
website.
send you the email,
Yeah.
there'll be it comes up in blue, right, the link?
Yeah.
And just double click on that.
Double click. Left or right?
That's 2 clicks, Tom, just
That's-
2, just in case you get. Yeah,
Thumbs up. What thumbs down?
Thank you.
So I'm guessing no one saw what I made for the Renee Thoreau property.
I did see mine, it got buried in my email, but I did see it again the other day.
Just to give some context of the area, I
Or,
put
I'm gonna send
the
both of those.
construction plans on the aerial, and you could see you could do a swipe with the aerial on, and put it on and off. So if you want to put that link on there too.
Yeah, I will. Send again.
Send it in.
Monday, you could come in and show you on my computer. Okay, so that was the trail website, so we're not, we'll have to look at that again. Next meeting is March 7th, rainfall report.
Is this what you, while you're on trail?
Yes, thank you.
Do you want the vernal pool one too?
I have that somewhere, but I'll borrow this.
I'd like to keep that.
Well, I don't know where mine is. Let me borrow it until I find mine. Yeah, because Matt and I were going to go out and walk Birch Street, but then he wasn't feeling good the day after the deliberative, so we didn't get there yet, but
Okay. Rainfall
rainfall.
for the month of January 2019. Liquid precipitation, we had 3.39 inches,
3 point
And-
what, 9?
3.39 inches,
Okay.
and we had 13.25 inches of snow for a total.
yay.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, didn't seem like that much.
That's what I thought too, but
That's in his yard only.
yeah. It is amazing how much it varies from
Yeah.
one part of town to the other.
Right.
But that's, I want to put that in the record.
Thank you. And approval of minutes, I have November 1st on here. I don't know why, but December 6th, I don't think I printed them out. Anybody read December 6th?
I don't have them.
I don't.
No, I'll have to send those again.
Okay.
Yeah, but this time it's 3 clicks.
Three clicks. Thank you. On that phone.
And anybody have anything else? I have a quick non-public at the end. Let's just see, anything else?
Entertain a motion, we adjourn.
No, no,
Go into non-public
non-public.
session.
And
And then,
roll call, second, the motion to go into Harry
I'll second
separate.
it.
Roll call vote, Roger,
Yes.
Andrew, Michael?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, okay. We are going in non-public
and we're not coming out.
and when we come, we'll be adjourning